Well, staying with entertainment, the actor Dennis Waterman has died at the age of 74. He was best known for his roles in TV shows like Minder, New Tricks and The Sweeney. His family released a statement saying that he passed away peacefully in hospital in Spain. Our correspondent Andrew Plant is here. Andrew, first of all, take us through what the family has said.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've just talked about his amazing career. As you say, he passed away peacefully at his home in Spain late last night with his fourth wife, Pam, by his side. But I mean, he had the kind of career that I'm not even sure you could have nowadays, simply because TV was such a different beast when, you know, he was at the height of his acting fame in the 70s and 80s. He started actually when he was pretty young, you know, 10, 11, 12, he was acting in theatre, but it was when he got to those roles in the 70s, Minder, for example, getting audiences, you know, once a week of 15 million plus sometimes on a regular basis. And that's the kind of thing that might happen for a one-off event these days, but not, you know, regularly every single week. And that's what made him so famous, into people's living rooms every single night of the week, and not just one or two iconic series, but several throughout his career. But he did, I mean, he started really early, BBC TV, back on the Just William series in the 60s when he was sort of 13, 14.
And never stopped.
It never stopped, really. I mean, you know, that's been remade several times since, but I think people still see that as the definitive version, playing the leader of the gang of outlaws in the Richmond Crimpton adaptations. But it was really his first sort of adult acting fame came really with The Sweeney, which is what a lot of people will associate him with. That was sort of mid-70s. At that point, he hadn't really done the sort of hard man cop act yet. In fact, he was more of a good cop to John Ford's bad cop in that series. And it was only a year later when he went in 1979 onto Minder that he really sort of sealed that niche that he had himself in.
Right, and that's kind of what we remember tonight, that tough guy role.
That's what he made his own, I think. He was in Minder for years, 7 series, spanning from the sort of late 70s to the late 80s, you know, the sort of just out of a stretch in prison ex-boxer trying to go straight, but unfailingly knocked off course by the unscrupulous Arthur Daly, George Cole, of course. So that was a double act that sort of is in the national psyche, I think, for anyone who was around at that time.
And then he stayed in the national consciousness, what, in the early 2000s, Little Britain, he was a big figure on.
He was. I mean, he sort of reinvented himself, but again in that tough guy image with New Tricks, which of course, you know, that ran for more than a decade as well. He was the only sort of full-time cast member in that. But singing the theme tune is something that stuck with his career as well, because that's what he did for Minder, of course. I Could Be So Good For You went to number 3 in the charts. He also sang the New Tricks theme tune as well. Little Britain, obviously a long-running sketch saying, write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. But actually, you know, Dennis Waterman loved that. He didn't mind that at all. You know, that was a big deal to him. In fact, there's a lovely tribute from Matt Lucas from Little Britain that he's tweeted in the last couple of hours saying, I grew up watching Dennis Waterman's iconic performances. His guest appearance on our Little Britain live show at Hammersmith Apollo, in which he hilariously duetted with David's absurd impersonation of him, remains the absolute highlight of my career. So he loved that. That was all part of it for him in a career which spanned, you know, theatre, TV, music, all of it, films included. In fact, he didn't finish acting until 2020. He was in an Australian movie. So more than 6 decades of acting, really cementing him as an icon of the British acting industry.
Andrew Plant on the actor Dennis Waterman, who's died at the age of 74. Thank you so much.